Could the members take their seats and we'll get started?
Down, Gillian.
I'm calling this meeting of the House License, Occupation, and Administrative Regulations Committee to order. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Representative Banta.
Present.
Representative Bratcher.
Here.
Representative Callaway.
Here.
Representative Kleins.
Here.
Representative Dixon. Here. Representative Pfister. Representative Flannery.
Here.
Representative Gentry. Representative Hebron. Representative Herron. Representative Huff.
Here.
Representative Jackson.
Present.
Representative Kulkarni.
Present.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Here.
Representative Palumbo.
Here.
Representative Pratt. Representative Smith.
Yes, here.
Representative Timoney.
Here.
Chairman Cook.
Here.
We do have a quorum, and we are duly constituted to do business. Does any member wish to introduce any guests that may have here today? Seeing none, then we'll proceed, and the first bill is House Bill 397, and Chairman, you can take it away and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Matt Cook, representing the 72nd District. Starting with House Bill 397. Is that right, Mr. Chair? Okay. It's important that we brought this up for this committee. We spend a lot of time in here. We talk about reciprocity with licensures. We talk about compacts. There's been talk about universal licensure, and this is something that General Bullard and I wanted to bring to the committee's attention. So House Bill 397 is actually a pretty close to a federal law that's been on the books now for over a year. So we do a couple little tweaks with this, but there's been a lot of members' bills are coming forward. For instance, we got an electrician bill coming later, and there's always seems to be a part in there. Everybody's trying to take care of the military veterans. Of course, obviously, being a veteran, I'm very sensitive to this, but we're always trying to take care of them. They're operating on orders. They're, kind of moving, I don't want to say against their will, but here are your orders. You're moving to Kentucky. We want to make sure that they're taken care of on the licensure front. So House Bill 397 simply codifies what we're doing on the
Motion on the bill.
federal level.
We do have a motion and a second. Would you like to proceed, or you want to go ahead and take the vote?
We're good.
All right, Mr. Chairman. We'll go ahead and take the vote on it, if you'll take roll call.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Bratcher.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dixon. Yes. Representative Pfister. Representative Flannery.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hebron. Representative Herron.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Palumbo.
Yes, to support the military. Thank you.
Representative Pratt.
Yes.
Representative Smith.
Yes.
Representative Timoney.
Yes.
Chairman Cook.
Yes.
Okay, House Bill 397 does pass with favorable expression, and we're going to proceed on to House Bill 439. And go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once again, Representative Matt Cook, 72nd District. So several years ago, we passed, some members will know it as a Dusty Bottle Bill, but it's officially known as a Vintage Spirits Bill. Great bill, but what it did is sometimes we have unintended consequences up here, and we have we created an unregulated fourth tier in the alcohol industry. And we all know that the three tiers are extremely complicated as it is, and we went and created a fourth unregulated tier that needed some cleanup to it. So here's what we've come up with. First thing we did was we have created a vintage spirit license, which the retailer, they can get that for $300. So that'll do a couple things. One, that'll allow ABC, who's a regulatory agency, they'll be able to identify who's actually doing this so that they can now police the work. The other part of that is, as a seller, so if a person has it, this was originally intended maybe somebody dies, they've got a pretty good collection, there's Wellers, there's all this nice bourbon in there, they're able to go, and this gives them an avenue to sell it. What happened, people were selling thousands of bottles, and they were turning this into this whole industry. So what we had to do is, part of this is the seller will now be registered. So the seller himself doesn't register, but when the buyer buys from them, they have to list all the information, the name, the address, et cetera, so that we know who the person that's selling this alcohol is. We're not saying they can't sell it. We are saying how much they can sell. So that's, we're preventing the seller from being able to turn this into an entire livelihood, because that's not what was intended at all for this. So there are penalties. The ABC, and we do have a committee sub that we're going to need to put in
I
place.
was going to say that we had some questions too.
Okay, let's.
Well, let's go ahead and adopt this committee sub if you want to.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the committee sub. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we've adopted it. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so yeah, first part, thank you for doing that, Mr. Chairman. So the first thing that committee sub does is the ABC wanted to increase the penalties on the seller, because with it was Class B misdemeanor, Class A misdemeanor, then a Class D felony. Nobody in the counties were going for the Class B misdemeanor. So ABC was having a very, very tough time regulating this. So the committee sub, we go Class A misdemeanor, then to the Class D felony to up the penalties, to give them some teeth to actually be able to enforce this. That's one. The second part of the committee sub, I was trying to, we were making an attempt to try to modernize the reporting when you're going to get your license. We realized that was going to actually make it harder for your average constituent to be able to look up and see who is getting a license and everything. So it is strictly in the newspaper, or that version of the newspaper that's out there, kind of keeping that in. And it also, on the board, it creates another member to the board. But let me go back, jumping back to the original bill and everything that's still in there. We also confiscated alcohol. Right now, it all has to be destroyed. And this is Kentucky and bourbon capital of the world, and we had some pretty dang nice bourbon that was getting destroyed. So if that stuff is still, and the ABC will be the agency that controls this, still it's originally packaging, it's all laid out in the bill that all has to be put together. They can actually sell that at public auction, and then those proceeds can go to a program in here called AWARE. That we renamed the program. The program's actually been in place in the bill. If you'll read, you'll see that program's actually been in place for, I believe, 20 years now. And it's supported Project Grad, prom after parties at the high school, trying to prevent underage drinking. This is going to expand it. We changed the name, but this will also expand it for projects such as binge drinking on college campus, to be able to help prevent that, and go to alcohol awareness education on that front.
Motion on the bill as amended by the committee sub.
Second.
We have a couple of questions, first of all, Mr. Chairman, before we
Yes, sir.
take the vote. Representative Banna has one.
Thank you. Thank you for this bill. Some of my retailers use the vintage law to buy bourbons like Blanton's and Eagle Rare, because they call their wholesaler and they're told they can't order any of the six bottles that they got in the last month. And are all they will get for the 6 months is the 6 bottles. So is there anything in this bill that would prevent them from continuing to do so as long as they get the license and do the reporting with the Eagle Rare and the Blanton?
Thanks, Representative Banna. That's a great question. Probably the only thing I don't like about this bill is the actual name, Vintage Spirits, because I think that's a little bit misleading on this. I think and that was obviously said a couple years ago, I think a better name would be the hard to get or maybe limited release bourbon, because I have absolutely no intent. I'm not trying to limit, trying to push the Blanton out, or, we went through different ideas of trying what a vintage, is actually defined as. But this is absolutely not. It says right there, if it is not available, the retailer is able to purchase it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Representative Palumbo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm told that this will correct the issues that Lexington has had regarding its quota.
That'll be Killian Timoney is going to fix that problem on the next one. And I hope he does.
And I thank you for bringing a bill where the bourbon will be auctioned instead of destroyed.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
something we can all get behind. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the bill that it has been House Bill 439 as amended by the House Committee substitute. We have a motion and a second. Go ahead and take the roll.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Bratcher.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dixon. Representative Pfister. Representative Flannery. Representative Gentry. Representative Heverin.
Yes.
Representative Herron.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Palumbo. Representative Pratt.
Yes.
Representative Smith.
Yes.
Representative Timoney.
Yes.
Chairman Cook.
I'm a yes, and I'd also like to add, we need to hold the floor. Representative Pfister is stuck over in Ag right now running that, so he asked us to hold the floor open so he can vote on these 3 bills. So before I forget to say that.
Okay. So you want me to hold up on the
No,
final
we
vote?
can do that, and he'll come over
He come
just
out,
at the end
okay.
of the
So
meeting.
House Bill 439 is amended by the House Committee Substitute, passes with favorable expression. And Representative Heaven, would you like to cast a vote on 397?
Yes. I would like to record a yes vote on House Bill 397, and I would like to record my attendance, please, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go on to, Mr. Chair, you want to take the seat back? What, yeah, we do the last one, okay. It'd be House Bill 455. And we'd like to ask Representative Timoney to introduce himself and any guests that he has, and you may proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee. Going to move right along with this. My name is Keely Timoney. I'm the state representative, 45th District, southwest corner of Lexington, northern Jessamine. And my guest today is Shannon.
Yes, my name is Shannon. Short people. My name is Shannon Stiglitz. I'm the Senior Vice President of Government Affairs for the Kentucky Retail Federation.
House Bill 455 does 2 things. And it's a critical bill for us in Lexington in particular. It examines the alcohol licensing, the quota system. Currently in Lexington, we don't have any licenses left, and we have a lot of businesses that are wanting to come in, and they're sitting there kind of in limbo, waiting for the opportunity to open their doors. That's the main part. It does look at the ratio. Currently in Kentucky, in Louisville, there's a 1 license per 1,500 people, and everywhere else it's 1 license per 2,300. We're looking to change that for all the areas that have more than 100,000 people to 1 license per 2,000. So we're going from 2,300 to 2,000. So it's not a huge drop, and we're not going to 1,500. We feel like it's a responsible approach, and it does free up enough licenses for our businesses.
Okay, we have a motion on the bill. Would you like to continue?
Well,
Or maybe your guest might like to have something to
and
say.
I think that's important. She's worked really hard on this.
Okay.
Thank you. I will. I know when a motion comes to be quiet, but I do want to thank Representative Timoney and all of the partners in the alcohol industry. Our goal was to take a surgical approach to resolve this issue on behalf of our members, and I think we did that. The other piece that's contained in the bill is also critical for our members. It ensures that they don't have increased liability or risk of theft of alcohol in delivery cars, so that no requirement to display external signage, just like we do on cocktails to go. And so it's just putting those retailers on the same level as cocktails to go. That's it.
Okay, we do have a question, if you'll take one. Representative from Representative Herron.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you all. And I have been in conversation with Shannon about the issue and concern that I'm going to bring up. Currently in Louisville, it seems like every few months there is either the Dollar General or dollar stores that are constantly asking to have a license to sell beer in the stores. And community members are constantly fighting that and have been able to hold that off. And one of the issues is I know that folks have an ability and a right to sell, but the issue is those entities are in communities. There's hardly any merchandise on the shelf. The stores are very dirty. They're just not good business folks for our communities. And from my understanding, this bill would not allow or extend that for folks in Louisville. I just want to make sure that the residents in Lexington will not also face this issue moving forward.
Yes, and so just to clarify, a malt beverage license, or what a Dollar General type grocery store, convenience store would get, is a non-quota license. So it's not subject to the 1,500 in Louisville or the 2,300 that is in statute today. The for Lexington, this is a increase that is, I would consider, moderate, in my opinion, on the basis that from the research I've done, there are about 13 entities requesting a license, and based on the calculations of the current population and the my calculations, so if you can trust my math, I will make that caveat, it will give Lexington about 20 licenses. So you're looking at really only a difference of 7 open licenses. But even, I want to be clear, even in Lexington, the issue that you described, and we want and believe our members want them to be responsible retailers, there is no quota on malt beverage licensees.
Thank you.
And I think that brings up a good point. In Chairman and I had a conversation about just the overall licensing process is very antiquated, and we need to address it. And I know I had reached out to the ABC in regards to this bill also, and their concern was, well, why aren't we looking at just issuing different type of licenses altogether and redoing the whole system? And I think that's very valid. And I know the chairman and I have had conversations about what that's going to look like, and I think that there's definitely a conversation that's going to happen in the near future regarding that. So thank you for bringing that up.
Before I call on Representative Bratcher, I had a quick question. If a license has been issued and there's so many of them that can be issued and it's limited, can that license be purchased and moved to another location if the licensee so chooses to sell it?
And that's another part of the process. It depends on who you ask on that one. Obviously, the answer from the ABC, and as what I've researched, the answer is no. Okay, because licenses can't be transferred between retailers. Licenses can go dormant and they can be surrendered. Those types of things, and that's the only way. The ABC are the ones who issue the licenses.
If it goes dormant or surrendered, then that opens that back open.
That's correct.
For another application.
That's correct.
But the reason they don't do it is because of the application process. They want to be vented before the transfer license.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Representative Bratcher.
Well, I have a question, but first, another question. Does ABC ever come to these meetings, Matt?
Great question. I have not seen them.
So they don't? Seems like they would want to be here. But anyway, my question is, there was a golf course in my district, Glenmary, that closed down, and someone has renovated the clubhouse into a nice restaurant, and they can't get a license to sell alcohol, and it's been like a 3-month thing. Is that normal, Rachel?
Representative Bratcher, I'm assuming that they're looking for a by the drink license and not a by the package license.
Yes.
And it would be, I would think one would need to evaluate their particular circumstances to understand why they're not being issued. But of course, they have to first go to the local ABC in Louisville, and then the state ABC issues their license. So it could be that they're running into hiccups at the local or state level. And,
Well, and that's-
I'm
and
not
that's-
sure.
And if it's an internal issue, that's fine, but there's no reason otherwise that they would have to wait like a backlog, or just they're not getting around to it. So just on the surface of it, I'm certainly not holding you to anything. It just looks like there's an internal dispute.
It could be that the process, again, I mean, without knowing the particular circumstances, it's hard to understand. But there is a process that a licensee has to go through, including the publication of a notice that they would be issued the license. The premises has to be inspected, different things like that. So without knowing the particulars.
And how many different licenses are there to sell alcohol?
You would ask the question. I don't know, but I'll get you that answer.
Is it more than 5? I don't know.
Yes.
More than 5. All right, thanks.
Well, Representative, I think during the interim we talked about the different entities that require licenses. You've got nail salons, you've got spas, you've got
Nail salon.
bridal.
They selling alcohol now?
So
No
those
wonder
are
my
all the
wife
different.
hangs out there all the time.
So, and I think that this line of question of these comments are indicative of the need for the chairman's idea to look at the overall system. And I will say, the ABC was very helpful in answering a lot of the questions I had, and they did have some suggestions. But we were in agreement that we have got to look at the overall system. Thank you.
All right. I guess before we cut ABC's budget, we better vote on this bill. So we have House Bill 455 up. Let's start the process over again. Do I have a motion? We have a motion and a second. So will you take roll call?
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Bratcher.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dixon. Representative Pfister. Representative Flannery. Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Hebron.
Yes.
Representative Herron.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Jackson.
Yes.
Representative Kulkarni.
Yes.
Representative Meredith. Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Palumbo.
Yes, and may I explain my vote, please? I thank you that this takes care of Lexington's problem. Appreciate it.
Representative Pratt.
Yes.
Representative Smith.
Yes.
Representative Timoney.
Yes.
Chairman Cook.
Yes.
House Bill 455 passes with favorable expression. And do I have a motion for adjournment? We'll keep it open. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. We are keeping the meeting open until we have a chance for another member to come back. So we'll stand in recess. How's that? Okay.